Hi guys, Drew with Drew Talks. So in the past, I've been pretty even keel, even when we're talking about some difficult topics. But today I'm actually really upset. I'm pretty furious. And so if I get really red in the face, my nose turns about as red as Rudolph, do not be surprised. Because we're going to talk about something that is absolutely awful. So I want to first address a study that was done on the elderly who are going into nursing homes. And I will link in the description the article where I found this information. So on average, when a person goes into a nursing home, they live on average about 13.7 months. So a little over a year. That is the average length of time a person will be in a nursing home before they pass away. 53% of people that go into nursing homes die within 6 months. 65% die within 1 year. So the majority of people going into nursing homes do not have that long to live. There are exceptions, of course. That is why this is math, and these are called averages and percentages, not everybody. The median stay for men was 3 months, and the median stay for women was 8 months. So, right now we have people in nursing homes who, on average, will probably live about a year from the time they're dropped off there to the time they pass away. 1 year. I just feel like America has lost its mind. So we have people shut up in nursing homes, and it's going to be going on a year because of COVID. And we have people howling that someone like me, who has questioned the narrative from very close to the beginning, just hates grandma, wants grandma to die. Statistically, somebody in a nursing home is not going to be living very long. Now, I'm not saying, oh, well, we should just let them get sick. But locking them up in there like animals in cages where they are ostracized from human contact, and everyone who comes into their room is in gloves and a mask and a shield and goggles and whatever biohazard ridiculous thing they have them in, going in the room dressed up like aliens, and that's the only human contact they have, where they have to sit by themselves in the eating room. And some of these people have Alzheimer's. Can you imagine the nightmare? They only know a few people. What kind of hell are we putting them through? I'm just very, very upset about this. I am sick of being told that I am not being a humanitarian because I'm questioning, why are we doing this? To what purpose? How is this sympathetic? The COVID narrative is crumbling all around us, and the only people who are still holding strong to it are the people who do not have the humility to admit when they have been duped. It is absolutely ridiculous. I am sorry that you made a decision about what you believed when you were most afraid. Normally, the decisions we make when we are most afraid are not the best decisions. But requiring that all these human beings are shut up away from their loved ones when they don't have that much time left is one of the cruelest, most criminal things I have ever heard of. And if you can't see that, then you're just a despicable human being. And I've said it. I've said it because I'm upset. I am upset that the only deaths that matter are COVID deaths. Okay? 1 in 4 young people in their 20s, are seriously considering suicide at this point. We're not talking about just romantically thinking about the notion, like you read Romeo and Juliet and you're like, oh, what a poetic ending. I mean, seriously considering it. But that doesn't matter because it's not a COVID death, right? The people that are okay with these economic dangers are the ones who have never seen poverty. They're the ones who went to college and only thing they learned how to do was parrot other people's ideas. They parrot their professors, they parrot whatever who they follow on the news says. That's how they come up with the ideas they think. They're just parroting whatever they're told. In the last month, I have had 2 relatives die in nursing homes, away from their family, shut up. And for what? And one of them actually did die with COVID, but she's been locked up for months and months and months and months, and the staff ended up giving it to her. Good thing you kept her family away from her that long. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I am upset about it. This is a travesty. Having people who have lived their own lives, who are adults, even people who are not mentally able to take care of themselves, their families should be able to make the decision. Their families can't even get to them. Now we know what happens to little babies when they have no attachment to other human beings because they've studied it in orphanages. Sometimes those kids will just die because they're isolated and they don't know any love. So why do we think that when somebody is elderly, they don't need that human contact anymore? Human beings were meant to touch each other. We were meant to communicate and be social and fellowship with each other. And I'm sorry, zooming on the screen is not the same thing. So I'm glad everyone's decided to spend Grandma's birthday, her 95th, on Zoom, because guess what? Grandma may not be here for her 96th birthday, regardless of COVID. So I'm glad you're all willing to keep her in lockdown for 2 years like a criminal in prison. That's what you've done. These residents in these homes are prisoners. And you all are calling yourselves the sympathetic humanitarian ones. What you're doing is absolutely sick. And the numbers are going down and down and down and down and down for why we're doing this. And the arguments are sounding less and less and less plausible. If anything, they're starting to sound pretty darn whiny. And the news is sounding desperate. The latest thing is COVID may cause you to lose your hair. You know what causes you to lose your hair? Incredible amounts of stress, which is what all of 2020 has been, with nothing but constant fear-mongering over and over and over again. MSN did an article on Sweden that came out, I think it was a few weeks ago. Sweden decided to not participate in this great social experiment, and they decided to do what we've done through all of human history when it came to viruses, when vaccines weren't available. What they did was herd immunity, and everyone's like, oh, that's so cruel. Really? Because Sweden's numbers are lower than ours now, and their death rate is lower. But we don't want to say that because nobody wants to admit they've been duped, that this big experiment was awful and the damage it has done is insurmountable. So yes, I am irritated. I'm irritated because no deaths matter but the COVID deaths. I'm irritated that women aren't being allowed to have their spouses in with them when they give birth or even miscarry children. I am irritated that people are being so frickin' cruel and then pointing the finger at those of us who are saying this is humanitarian wise, this is wrong, and saying, oh, you just want everyone to die and you don't care. No, I care. I just have enough logic and common sense to understand real math. So I'm sorry if my emotions aren't all wrapped up in COVID. My emotions are wrapped up in everybody. And the people that are out of work, and the people who have built businesses and had them crumble. If the people who have lost loved ones to suicide, or the people who have had loved ones die in nursing homes alone, by themselves, failure to thrive. But hey, high five, stay home, save lives, right? This narrative is crumbling all over the place. And if you continue to cling to it, you're probably going to walk out of this without any friends and be bewildered as to why people are getting pissed at you. And so that's all I have to say. There's not a whole lot to like in this video. I will put the link for the MSN article on Sweden and the one on the stats for the nursing homes in the description. But at this point, it really doesn't matter because everyone has decided they've made up their mind already what they want to believe, and they don't want any new information to mess up that narrative so they don't feel stupid. Thanks.